إن الحمد لله أحمده تعالى واستغفره وأعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد في سبيل دينه حتى أتاه اليقين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليك يا رسول الله. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وعنده مفاتح الغيب لا يعلمها إلا هو ويعلم ما في البر والبحر وما تسقط من ورقة إلا يعلمها ولا حبة في ظلمات الأرض ولا رطب ولا يابس إلا في كتاب مبين. وهو الذي يتوفاكم بالليل ويعلم ما جرحتم بالنهار ثم أبعثكم فيه ليقضى أجل مسمى ثم إليه مرجعكم ثم ينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. وهو القاهر فوق عباده ويرسل عليكم حفظة حتى إذا جاء أحدكم الموت توفته رسلنا وهم لا يفرطون ثم ردوا إلى الله مولاهم الحق ألا له الحكم وهو أسرع الحاسبين. أما بعد, my dear brothers and sisters, we've been living with the story of Yousuf alayhi salatu wasalam for many weeks because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pointed us to the surah because it's ahsan al-qasas, the best stories. And Allah tells us in the beginning of it, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي يُوسُفَ وَإِخْوَتِهِ آيَاتٍ, many lessons, many examples, many models for those who reflect, for those who think, for those who look at Yousuf as an example and a model, look at his father as another example and a model, and look at his brother as another wicked example and a model. And then you choose for yourself. Do you want to be Yousuf? Or do you want to be Yaqub? Or do you want to be one of the brothers? That's the three models that you see. And last week, when Yousuf took his brother and he pleaded to him, please take one of us instead of him. And they said, إِنَّ لَهُ أَبًا شَيْخًا كَبِيرًا فَخُذْ أَحَدَنَا مَكَانًا إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ قَالَ مَعَاذَ اللَّهِ. So Yousuf refused to take one of them. He only wanted his brother. Then they gathered outside and their older brother, he said, I'm not leaving Egypt until my father make a decision or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَيَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ لِي وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْحَاكِمِينَ. And he reminded them, قَالَ هَلْ عَلِمْتُمْ مَا فَعَلْتُمْ بِيُوسُفَ. You remember what did he do to Yousuf? وَمِنْ قَبْلُ مَا فَرَّطْتُمْ فِي يُوسُفَ. That you let Yousuf go and he committed that crime and he kept lying to your father for over 25 years. So now he said, ارجعوا إلى أبيكم. I'm not leaving Egypt, but you go back to your fathers. فقولوا يا أبانا إن ابنك سرق. Tell him that your son stole. وما شهدنا إلا بما علمنا. And we only witness what we saw, so we're telling you that. وما كنا للغيب حافظين. When we promised you to bring our brothers back, we didn't know what was in store for us. We don't know what Allah had for you. So what do you think of that? You don't know what Allah, my dear brothers and sisters, have for you tonight or tomorrow or the next day. So if you're earning your living by lying to people, by cheating, trying to get rid of people because you want it to be the upper hand, you're doing something, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doing something else. And then they said, وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةِ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. If you don't believe us, you see, my dear brothers, the liar is always doubt himself. The wicked always, he doesn't trust himself and he doesn't trust us, others. He said, وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةِ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. Imagine who they're talking to. Their father. Not an ordinary father. They're talking to a prophet. But because the father knew them since they lost Yousuf 30 years ago, that they are wicked and they are liars. See, every one of us knows his kids. Every one of us know what kind of kids he has. You know your kids, if they're good, you know they are. If they're smart, you know they are. If they're liars, you know. Parents know. So they said, وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةِ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا وَالْعِيرَ الَّتِي أَقْبَلْنَا مِنْهَا. If you don't believe us, ask the people who travel with us. And they saw with their own eyes that what the king of Egypt did, how he captured your son because he stole. And then at the end, so they told him the truth, which is the truth this time. And they tell him, if you don't believe us, ask the people that we traveled with. They're not our brothers. They're just Al-Qarya, the villagers that went to Egypt asking for food. And then at the end he said, وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. See, أخي الكذاب, the liar, tell you, Wallahi, أخي. If somebody's selling something, Wallahi, this is fresh meat. Wallahi, this is a good product. Wallahi, وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. That's the father. He doesn't have to ask anybody else. All what you have to ask is your own son. And tell him, son, did you do that or you did not do it? And then once he responds to you, you should be, that's it. But they wanted witnesses. So ask the people who travel with us. وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. Now let me ask you this. Did Yaqub believe them? They tell him the truth. But did he believe them? He didn't. قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. He said the same words when they lost Yousuf. And they came with that lie. وَجَاءُوا أَبَاهُمْ عِشَاءً يَبْكُونَ. Over 30 years ago, they came crying to the same father. يا أبانا إننا ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب. We went to race each other, we left Yousuf by our clothes, and the wolf came, undressed him, took him out of his shirt, said, Yousuf, I want to eat you, so please take your shirt off. وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. So he remembered them. And here they tell him the truth, but because they are being habit of lying, nobody believes them. Bad habit. أَيَكُونُ مُؤْمِنُ كَذَّابًا قَالَ لَا. When the Prophet ﷺ was asked, would the mu'min be a kadhab, liar? La. He can't. He cannot be a mu'min, cannot be a Muslim when you are a liar. At that state, you're not a good person. And Muslim is supposed to be a good person. قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. Again, you plotted again. And you're causing another problem again. فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. Sabr. Patience. One character that all the Anbiya, all the prophets, all the messengers, all the good people is patience. If you train yourself to have patience with everything, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Those who practice patience, Allah promised to give them reward back with no limit. Not Hasana, I'll give you 10. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. no limitation to the reward because of patience. We hear in America, we say, you know, good things come to those who wait, who have that patient practice. If you're patient and persevere, you'll accomplish what you want. So it's a character of a muhsin, the excellent one. So he said, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. And listen to the next few words. عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا. See the man who loves Allah? He always have hope. عَسَى اللَّهُ. He should have said, عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمَا. But he said, بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا. So he said, may Allah bring all of them, all three of them. And you know, Yousuf is gone. So he's supposed to be talking about the brother, Benjamin, and the older brother, only two. He should have said, عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَأْتِينِي بِهِمَا, the two of them. But he said, بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا, all of them. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ. Trust in Allah, akhi. Second, good character beside patience. Be patient and trust Allah. Patience, every human being will be tested. Because this is life. هو الذي خلق الموت والحياة. It is indeed Allah who created life and death. ليبلوكم. So the purpose of this life is ibtila, testing. That's the purpose of this dunya. أيكم أحسن عملا. Who among you أحسن, again إحسان, عملا, best of conduct, best of behavior. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning of Surah Al-Ankabut, Alif Lam Mim, أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Does mankind think, okay, I believe it, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله, make a couple of rak'ah and Allah will not test you? وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Allah tested people before you. فَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. So when you declare your shahada, when you declare your iman, when you declare your Islam, great, everybody does that. But what's the difference between a true believer and a non-true believer? His action and behavior. That's why in 50 surah verses of the Quran, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Those who believe and acted righteously according to their iman and belief. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. He's addressing the mu'min, not the kafir. لِمَا? Why? Allah is wondering, لِمَا تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Why do you say what you don't practice? كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَن تَقُولُوا مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Allah hates that a person say something and do something different. He's a hypocrite. Hypocrisy. إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ مِنَ النَّارِ. Hypocrites are in the lower level of the hellfire. And it's our choice. So he said, عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَأْتِينِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ. Depend on Allah. Trust in Allah. What are you worried, my dear brothers and sisters? Every one of us worry about money. We all do. Because money, عَصَبُ الْحَيَاةِ. وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. And you love money and fame and rich. Much. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to make it easy on you. He said, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. Whatever Allah promised to give you, it's in His hand. It's in heaven. It's not how smart or clever you are. There's a lot of clever people who work so hard and they have peanuts. And there's some people who is not so clever, but Allah give them. And give them. To test them. To see. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. He tests you with poverty, and He tests you with money. فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ رَبُّهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَّمَهُ. This is a man that Allah blessed him with children, with family, with land, and to see what he's going to do. Become a bakhil, become a ajib, like Tha'laba. Remember Tha'laba? One of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he's a poor man. And Tha'laba always come to the masjid to the point that the Sahaba call him speed. Hamamat al-masjid. Before the adhan, he's there. Before Fajr, he's there. Asr, Maghrib, Isha. He approached the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, Make dua. You know the Prophet, if he makes dua, it will be accepted. Make dua so Allah can make me rich. And the Prophet looks at him, Ya Tha'laba, anta bi khayr. You good like that? Some of us are good to be poor. Because we always say, La ilaha illallah, Ya Tha'laba, anta bi khayr. You're good like that. No, Ya Rasulullah, please, ask Allah to make me rich. And he kept persisting and persisting. Finally, the Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma ghni Tha'laba. Oh Allah, make Tha'laba rich. Few months passes by, Tha'laba starts selling and buying and become one of the richest Sahaba. What's the first character of a rich person? I don't need Allah anymore. I don't have to come to the masjid. So Tha'laba didn't show up anymore. Doesn't show. Came to the point that the Prophet ﷺ in the time of collection zakah, and zakah is one of the pillars of Islam. So he sent the Sahaba to collect the zakah, and Tha'laba said, there's no zakah in Islam. Now he became a prophet, right? He's making a decision. There's no zakah in Islam. How many of us don't pay the zakah? Yeah, brother, we don't have an Islamic state, so we don't have to pay zakah. No, akhi. Allah knows. You have money, you calculate it, pay 2.5% of it. That's your zakah. So Tha'laba refused to pay the zakat of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Quran came in Surah At-Tawbah. وَمِنْهُمْ, some of us, some of you, مَنْ عَاهَدَ اللَّهِ, he promised Allah, لَإِنْ أَتَانَا مِنْ فَضْلِهِ لَنَصَّدَّقَنَّ وَلَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. If Allah give me, if I become rich, if I have this, if I have that, I'll pay sadaqah, I'll help the Muslims, I'll build this, I'll do that. فَلَمَّا آتَاهُمْ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ بَخِلُوا بِهِ. When Allah gives them, they become stingy. They will not give anything. فَعَاقَبَهُمْ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ نِفَاقٍ إِلَى يَوْمِ يَلْقَوْنَهُ. So Allah replaced their iman and their heart with hypocrisy. And they become in the hellfire. So trust in Allah. يَعْقُوبُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ وَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ. Tawalla, when he left his back and he just abandoned his children. Sometimes you get so sick of your child because he's so stubborn and so going in the wrong direction that you just fed up with him. He did. Tawalla anhum. He turned away from them. Went to another room, doesn't want to talk to them. And then he remembered his old Yousuf. وَقَالَ يَا أَسَفَ عَلَى يُوسُف. He's sad. Very, very sad. But in the other verses, فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. Angry and sad. Two mixed feelings of a human being. Although he's a prophet, although he trusts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but when you're angry at the one that you love the most and they treat you badly, and you suppress your anger, and you suppress your sadness, something happened. Some of us might have ulcers. Some of us might have high blood pressure. Some people get paralyzed. I have an uncle, and one day his wife upset him. He went to work upset her, and he was a strong young man. He came home and he was half paralyzed. Anger, sadness. So Yaqub, he said, وَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ وَقَالَ يَا أَسَفَ عَلَى يُوسُف وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. So Yaqub alayhi salam, it hit him in the eye. Sadness and anger and suppression, he became blind. Now, the man is blind now. Does his children leave him alone? Said, our father is blind, have mercy on him. Listen to what they say. قالوا تالله تفتأ تذكر يوسف. You still remember the old story of Yusuf? حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين. Now we got blind, being sad on Yusuf. حتى تكون حرضا. You're going to keep remembering Yusuf until you kill yourself or until you die. This is the wicked children. May Allah guide our children. May Allah make our children better. May Allah never make our children wicked. But some Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests with wicked children, like Yaqub. So what they say to their father? تَاللَّهِ تَفْتَأُ تَذْكُرُ يُوسُف. I want to remember whoever I want to remember. That's me. I remember my son because I used to love him. And you guys snatched it and did whatever you did with him. So he answered them, قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. So who does he complain to? Allah. So brother, you don't need to complain to any human being. When something hits you, turn to your Lord. Turn to your Creator. He's more merciful to you than the whole world combined. That's what Yaqub does. إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. I only complain to Allah. بثي من غمي, my musibah. I lost 3 children. And now I complain to Allah. And he said, وَأَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And I know from Allah what you don't know. You guys forget that I'm a prophet? You guys forget that I can talk to Allah? You guys forget that what Jibreel comes to me and I talk to him? But you're human, you forget this. You forget that this is just the dunya. إنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان. حياة, this life, sadness and sorrow and agony, and today, you know, if you smile one day, be careful the next couple of days. Because this is life. Test. Don't be so happy. لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر وتكاثر. So be careful. Because that's a test. فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمه وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه. He complains when Allah doesn't give him. فيقول ربي أهانني. Oh, look what Allah does to me. It's unfair. Subhanallah والعياذ بالله. وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. I know from Allah what you don't know. And then He commanded them, يا بني يذهبوا, go back to Egypt. This is the 3rd time they go back to Egypt. Now I want to discuss something with you. This story is so beautiful. How many times Yousuf sent them back and forth? 3 times. When they came first, فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَعَرَفَهُمْ وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ. He knew them, and he can immediately say, see, I'm a king now, and you guys are garbage. From day one, he could have said that. He can have revenge. He can capture all of them, throw them in jail. He said, do you remember what you did to me in the past? You put me in the well, I'm going to put you in jail. But Yousuf didn't. And he wanted to give his brother lessons. So, you want to give people lessons. It's important. This is the art of da'wah. You know, people sometimes say, forgive and forget. No, my dear brothers. Muslims don't just forget and forgive. You have to teach people. Why are you forgiving them? See, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, the mu'min al-qawi, وَأَنْ أَعْفُوا عَنْ مَنْ ظَلَمَنِي, and to forgive whoever unjust to me. But now somebody beat you up because you're strong and you're weak, and you know, now he becomes strong and he says, I forgive you. No, we have to give him a lesson. So Yousuf wanted to give his brothers lessons. You know the distance between Jerusalem and Egypt? Traveling on camels, 3 miles an hour, 8 hours a day, probably a month going and a month coming, and a month's discussion with their father. 3 times he sent them back and forth. So he learned the valuable lessons. That's what Yousuf did. Ya baniya, the father is commanding him, idhabu, go back for the 3rd time. فَتَحَسَّسُوا مِنْ يُوسُف وَأَخِيهِ. Now they attack him, say, you still remember Yousuf is gone. He said, no, go. I know from Allah what you don't know. فَتَحَسَّسُوا مِنْ يُوسُف وَأَخِيهِ وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ. Akhi, never give up. on the mercy of Allah. Always trust Allah. The problem is we don't have no trust with Allah. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something that ajib. He said, أَنَا عند حسن ظن عبدي بي. I am as my servant think of me. So Allah tell you, I am as you think of me. If you think Allah will punish you, He will. If you think Allah will destroy you, He will. If you think Allah will bless you, He will. If you think Allah will give you, He will. Whatever you think of Allah, إن كان خيرا فخير وإن كان شرا فشر. أنا عند حسن ظن عبدي بي. So you have to always think good about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الغفور الرحيم المعطي المانع العلي المتكبر السميع البصير القوي. Always lean on Allah. This is the whole story, brothers. People who don't know Allah, don't remember Allah like the brothers. They mu'min, they believe, but their amal is wicked. So their iman is in vain. Time is running. Beautiful story. Inshallah we'll continue next week if Allah give us time. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم واستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. I want to conclude with something, my dear brothers and sisters. I know some of the brothers, they come late and they hear little bits left from the khutbah. And this is wrong. So listen, number one, come on time, my dear brothers. Time, al-asr. Allah swears by time, how important time is. Time is your life. But people come always, and the same people. I'm standing here, I see the first two lines, the same first two lines, and then the latecomers and people who stand by the door. And people who are outside, look outside, still somebody who's talking on the phone. Ajib. They don't care about Allah. He just wants the brother make the salah, he gets up. So what are you learning? I'm going to tell you a very simple story, and I know Brother Saeed want to run, but yeah, be patient. The story is this Harun al-Rashid tell his wife, the queen, he had a son from her, and he had a son from a slave girl. So he said, the son from the slave girl is much, much smarter than your son. She got upset. No, he's this, I raised him very well. He said, you want me to test him? She said, sure, go ahead. So he's standing in his palace, and Harun Rashid was very powerful. So he called his two sons, about the same age. And he said, I want both of you to go separately and bring me 40 bulls with hats, with turbans. So the son of the queen said, okay, Dad, I need a lot of money for that. So he put his hand in his pocket, threw him gold. He said, go ahead. The other son said, okay, Dad, next week I'll be here. So the son who took the money, queen's son, went to the market, bought in actually 4 bulls with horns, and went and bought some turbans, and he tied the turban and he drove them through the palace. And Harun said, look at your son, what he did. The other son went to Jumu'a prayer, and he prayed and he ran outside the door and he asked every man coming out, did you understand the prayer? Did you understand what the khatib was saying? So if he say yes, he let him go. If he say no, he say come over here. So he collected 40 men that came to the salah and didn't understand nothing. And he said to his father, Dad, here's the 40 bulls with the turbans. 40 tall with the hats. So brothers and sisters, let's not be those stores. Let's not be, when we come, learn one thing. Take one thing with you. Don't put your back against the wall and fall asleep. Learn something. Today we have many lessons to learn. Sabr, depends on Allah, taqwa, being righteous. Take one of them, and between the two Jumu'ah I said, how do I apply this to my life? How do I become that person? One thing. Change one bad habit and put a good habit. Change one bad habit and put a good habit. Eventually you have 52 weeks a year, you'll change 52 bad habits. And hopefully that we don't have 52 bad habits that we can change. But if you have 52, you can change it. If you have 100, take you 2 years. Change take time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change us. اللهم أعطنا القدرة على التغير رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. My dear brothers and sisters, try. It's a command from Allah to come every Jumu'ah on time. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. أقم الصلاة.